The other day I was talking to this little gal. She told me that anything I ever wanted, I could find at the local mall. So I decided there was something I wanted. I got me a brand new Tim McGraw CD. Been listening to it quite a bit. And I decided I'd like to have me a Tim McGraw t-shirt. So I go on down the mall, walk in the store, and then I see this big store to the left. It said Hot Topic. And I seen that they had a bunch of t-shirts and breeches in there. So I figured they'd been one of them clothing stores. So I walk in there. Wasn't too hot, kind of warm, kind of crispy, you know. But anyway, I walks in there, and I goes on and I looked at the t-shirts, and anyway, there's this little gal over there, and she was looking at me like weird as soon as I walked in, and I says, "You got a problem or something?" She just keeps looking at me. And I says, "I'm sorry, man, but could you tell me maybe where the Tim McGraw t-shirt is?" She looks at me like this, even weirder. And I says, "Are you okay?" And then I looked close and I realized what the problem was. She had this needle thing sticking out of her lip, and up her nose, and in her tongue, out her chin, all through her ears, through her eyes. All over the place she had these needles sticking out. And I thought something had to be wrong. Plus that, her lips and her eyes and even her fingernails are turning black. I don't know what it was. I mean, they were all black and all this needle stuff coming out. Scared me half to death. So I decided I need to call a doctor for this woman. So I walks up to the front of the store, and there's this big guy behind the counter. And he's checking people out, you know, putting their t-shirts in the bag. And I said, "Excuse me, sir, but can I borrow one of your cellular phones, because I need to call the doctor?" He looks at me, and he don't say nothing at all. He just looks at me like I'm a knot on the law. And I says, "Sir, I don't think you hear me." And I says, "You know what? I think I know what it is. It's that doggone music you playing in here. It's too loud. All you can hear is them screaming anyway. What's the point of it? Sound like somebody's dying or something. Can you cut that down so I can get a conversation started in here?" It looks at me even weird. So I figured he didn't even hear me, so I walk around the counter, and I find a big stereo that's controlling all this music, and I press that big old power button on the front. Whole music shuts down in the store, and it was peace and quiet. A bunch of people looking at me weird too. Guess they was happy, just didn't know how to express it. This big guy, he blocks my way and won't let me out. And I says, "Excuse me, sir, I kind of need to get out from behind here since I don't work here." And he says, "Boy, you ain't going nowhere." And I says, "What'd you say? I can't hardly hear you." He says, "Boy, you ain't going nowhere." And I says, I started laughing at him, really. But I says, "Hey, what you gonna do about it?" And he says, "I'm gonna knock you out." And I said, "You gonna knock me out?" And I noticed he got one of them things hanging out of his lips and nose and all that too. He looked mighty rough. I thought I needed to call a doctor. I said, "Sir, if you just excuse me, I'm gonna get medical help for all y'all soon." He just keeps looking at me weird. And so I says, "Excuse me again," and I push him out of the way. And he goes sprawling across the desk, counter, whatever it is. And he gets right back up and pushes me, and I fell down on the ground. That boy made me mad. I got up there, and I whacked him in the face, and I whacked him again, and I kicked him in the face, and I slapped him, and I knocked him out. He fell down on the ground, and I said, "That's what, boy." And I noticed his lip was bleeding, and that big needle thing sticking through it was like all the way out across the room. And I thought I done two good deeds. Done took care of a smart aleck punk, and I got rid of that needle stuck in his lip too. So I walk around the store trying to find a cellular phone. Everybody just keeps looking at me weird. And so I decided, after all the irresponsible, mean treatment I was getting, I wasn't even going to call the doctor. I says, "Alright, I will leave, because you people are scaring me. As soon as one of y'all shows me where the Tim McGraw t-shirt is." They just keep looking at me weird. They get around me. They look like they's about to kill me or something. I was like, "I don't think you fellas understand. I need me a Tim McGraw t-shirt." Then they got closer, and I noticed they all had this black stuff on their lips and eyes and fingernails and all this kinds of stuff, and they all had stuff sticking out of them. It scared me half to death. So I took off and I ran out of that store. And I forgetting the Tim McGraw t-shirt after that. That gal told me you can find anything you want in the mall. I don't think so. But if any of y'all fellas watching this video know where I can get me a nice Tim McGraw t-shirt, you just let me know. Thank you. Much obliged.